Lisa stumbled into my clinic here in Hawaii one stormy morning, makeup already smudged from tears. After years of holding it in, she finally opened up to me.
I want to be slim, but whenever I think about losing weight, I get buried under an avalanche of terrible self-doubt. I've already tried so many times. Maybe I just don't have the willpower. It's time I admitted it. I'm lazy and I deserve to be fat.
I'd been Lisa's doctor for years. She was not lazy and she did not deserve to be fat. No one does. She was a 49-year-old mother of 3 children and had a successful career, but she struggled with her weight. She was embarrassed to put on a swimsuit and she felt a knot of shame in her gut every time she had to buy the next size up. She was anxious about her health and if she'd even be alive to meet her grandchildren one day. But the worst pain was inside. Thanks to a lifetime of mean jokes, health warnings, and skinny models plastered all over the TV, Lisa's belly fat made her feel worthless. It caused overwhelming anxiety just to think about it, so she held it in. For years, Lisa did her best not to think about her belly fat, but that morning in my office, it all came spilling out.
I'm stuck with my belly fat forever, and it's my own damn fault.
She was embarrassed and started to leave, but I called her back. "What?" she cried, wishing me to understand how much she was hurting. I knew I had to figure out the exact words to rescue Lisa from her damaging self-doubt. I had to act fast. If I said the wrong thing, she might give up and forever believe there was no way out and that her extra fat was her fault. But that was not true. And this time, I had the secrets to prove it to her. 2 simple, scientifically backed tricks I'd recently discovered that would help Lisa break past that helpless feeling and finally slim down to reveal the self-love underneath. First, I'd created a 7-second trick that anybody can do to reveal the underlying triggers of her belly fat. And secondly, a way to fix her personal belly fat triggers using my discovery of a Las Vegas loaded dice dinner that syncs to her body chemistry. The same 2 secrets that helped my other patients melt their belly fat when they felt hopeless. Tyler N., age 54, lost 23 pounds. He told me,
I never believed that starving myself was the answer to my body fat, but I didn't know what was. Once you showed me how to measure my body grams weight, losing that weight was fun. I couldn't wait to check the scales each morning to see what weight dropped off. At 54, I thought this wasn't even possible.
And Sarah H., age 49, went down 6 pant sizes after implementing these secrets.
I hated how I looked, but when it came to burning fat, I didn't know where to start. Your 7-second trick showed me what was triggering my fat. Knowing where to start made all the difference. My husband is more than pleased with his new wife and even shows me off to his work colleagues. I tell all my friends that Dr. Ryan's 7-second trick is a can't-miss opportunity.
I'm excited to show you that same 7-second trick to measure the underlying cause of your belly fat in just a few minutes. But on that rainy Hawaii morning, Lisa needed to hear something else first. She needed to learn that she wasn't lazy and it wasn't her fault. So I whispered the most desperate prayer of my medical career. "Please," I begged God, "give me the words to help my friend." I put a warm hand on her shoulder and said, "I know it's overwhelming, but don't believe the lies the media tells you or you tell yourself. Your belly fat does not make you less than anyone else. The difference between lucky people who are born skinny and regular folks with a few extra pounds is that we haven't found our personal belly fat triggers. Here's what I mean. Every day you see a million different promises to cure belly fat. Atkins says to cut carbs and boost your metabolism. Dr. Oz tells you to balance your hormones or thyroid. Maybe your doctor says to cut calories. Your friends have tried these different fat loss plans, haven't they? But 95% of the time, what happened? They failed. Maybe you've tried a few. You've starved yourself or gone jogging every day or sweated to death in the gym, but you never saw results. It feels hopeless. So what's different for the 5% who actually lose weight? Why does boosting your metabolism work for some people but not for others? Why does balancing your hormones only help some people trim their belly fat? The answer is painfully obvious. It's why you should never feel embarrassed or ashamed by your belly fat. The reason why is that everyone's body is unique. You have 12 million unique strands of DNA, 17 trillion individual cells, what you ate as a child, what sports you played as a teenager, and thousands of other details. All these together create a web of factors that determine what triggers your body to store more fat than someone else's. What sort of triggers am I talking about? Maybe your DNA orders your body to turn carbs into fat. Maybe your fat control hormones are off kilter. Or maybe your brain chemistry won't stop telling you you're hungry. The truth is, there are 14 common belly fat triggers. Only 3 of these cause your belly fat. The best way to lose weight is to solve your 3 triggers. Make sense? In other words, a fat loss plan like Atkins or Pilates will only work if it solves the 3 worst problems causing your belly fat. But 99% of the time, it won't match your needs. So you worked hard, you tried to eat healthy, but the plan didn't fix your personal belly fat triggers, so you didn't lose weight. You ended up disappointed and embarrassed. Have you ever told your friends and family that you're starting a new fat loss plan? They get so excited for you, and then it doesn't work, or you're forced to give up. At every get-together, you're anxious they'll ask about your diet. You feel like a failure. But please understand, it's not your fault. You don't know the personal reasons why your body holds on to fat, so how can you pick a fat loss plan that fixes them? Until now, there's only been one way to find out your personal belly fat triggers. Try every single fat loss plan one by one. You fail over and over, always hoping the next time will work. And when the scale stays the same, you're heartbroken again. Even an Olympic marathoner would get discouraged. There are thousands of fat loss plans out there, and new ones come out every day. Look how many fat loss books Amazon had in May, and how many it had just 3 months later. That's almost 1,000 new books, and each one tackles a different combination of belly fat triggers. Do you see how impossible it is to stumble upon the exact fat loss plan your body needs? So you absolutely cannot blame yourself that you've had a hard time. That's what I said to Lisa, and I'm grateful those words came to me, because her story is too common. Too many people try whatever fat loss plan their friends are trying, or pick one they see on TV. But you have specific reasons for your body fat. A fat loss plan will only help if it fixes all 3 of your specific belly fat triggers. And that's almost as unlikely as winning the Powerball. I want you to understand how much wild luck it takes to pick a fat loss plan that matches your personal reasons for your belly fat. So I'm taking you to Vegas. Let's go to the craps table. If you haven't played craps, you've seen it in all the movies. Roll 2 dice, call the numbers, and win big. What are the chances of calling both dice correctly? Well, let's say you call out double 4s. The first die will be a 4 on 1 out of 6 rolls. But for both dice to be 4s, that'll only happen on 1 out of 36 rolls. Only a 2.78% chance. Small, but enough to make the game fun. Now let's compare Vegas to picking the exact fat loss plan to fix your personal belly fat triggers. Most fat loss plans tackle 3 belly fat triggers at most. Weight Watchers, an appetite supplement, the Mediterranean diet, they're only going to focus on about 3 different belly fat triggers each. If those 3 triggers match your personal triggers, then jackpot, you lose weight. But only if they match your triggers exactly. Otherwise, you fail again. Let's treat this like a craps game. You need to match 3 triggers, so that's like rolling 3 dice. But not normal dice with 6 sides. There are 14 common belly fat triggers, so when you pick a fat loss plan, it's like you're rolling dice with 14 sides. You with me so far? You're rolling 3 dice with 14 sides each. Each number, 1 through 14, represents a belly fat trigger. Well, imagine your personal 3 triggers are 1. Slow metabolism, 2. Abnormally high appetite, and 3. Frequent fatigue. So when you roll your 3 dice, you need them to land on 1, 2, and 3. In other words, you need to pick a fat loss plan that solves belly fat triggers number 1, 2, and 3. So what are your odds? Worse than the 1 out of 36 odds to win normal craps? Much worse. To roll 3 14-sided dice and get a 1, 2, and 3 will only happen 1 out of 2,744 rolls. Your chance of picking the exact fat loss plan that solves your personal belly fat triggers is 1 out of 2,744. That's 0.03%. Not 3%, 0.03%. And that's why you try program after program, whether it's the South Beach diet, a personal trainer at the gym, or the latest herbal solution on Dr. Oz. And each one fails. Because to find a fat loss plan that exactly matches your 3 belly fat triggers, you'd have to try 2,744 different programs. That's impossible. If you tried one new program per month, you'd waste 228 years and 8 months before you found the needle in a haystack that solves your personal causes of belly fat. So it's perfectly fair to call skinny people lucky. People who shrink their belly fat have found the only fat loss plan that matches their personal body chemistry practically a miracle, since there was only a 1 out of 2,744 chance. But I promise, it's not as hopeless as it sounds. There's an easier way out, if you know what to look for. I've developed a method to cheat the system and measure your personal belly fat triggers. You don't have to try nearly 3,000 fat loss pathways one by one. You can say goodbye to low carb, low calorie, and everything else that's out there. You can dive straight for the root cause of your belly fat, finally solve the underlying issue, and banish your weight loss anxiety. You see, I recently developed a 7-second at-home test to measure which of the biggest belly fat triggers is hurting you. It uses a simple indicator that was revealed in the International Medical Journal of Obesity, and you don't even have to get out of your chair to test it. After that, please let me show you how this delicious-looking dinner takes away the random chance of solving your belly fat triggers, whatever they are. The real secret is in the spices and garnishes. That's how you'll replace frustration over your squeezing waistline with breathless excitement of realizing you fit back into your favorite pants. Swap that Debbie Downer feeling that hits you every time you look down at your belly with a feeling of pride and love for yourself at your new trim and toned tummy. Make peace with those judgmental glances you've received over how you look or what meal you ordered, because you now know that your shrinking belly is proof that you're not lazy and never were. Wave goodbye to negative thoughts that whisper, "I deserve to be fat and unhappy," and replace it with joyful celebration at how your rolls or spare tire have disappeared and how amazing you feel. Does that sound hard to believe, that you could feel so happy? I promise, confidence and joy are still somewhere deep inside you, and I'll help you set them free. All you have to do is take my hand and let me guide you through to the end of this presentation. I want to tell you an embarrassing secret about myself. My name is Dr. Ryan Shelton, and I'm the medical director at Zenith Labs. I live in sun-soaked Hawaii with my wife and kids, where I'm a licensed primary care physician. I've guided hundreds of one-on-one patients to their health goals, and my research and best-selling books have helped literally hundreds of thousands of men and women over 35. I've dedicated my medical career to 2 things: teaching my patients how to achieve their ideal health no matter their age, and uncovering the next natural breakthrough in medicine. I want to show people just like you how to live a healthier, happier life, a life with fewer overwhelming issues like excess belly fat. It's why I'm here talking to you right now about this 7-second trick to measure your personal belly fat triggers, and the loaded dice dinner that targets your triggers, whatever they are. I understand this is a lot to take in. I'd be skeptical myself if I hadn't seen it work for my own patients like Lisa at my practice here in Hawaii, or if I hadn't seen the 37 medical studies that tested these solutions and ingredients with over 1,000 men and women. But I can't stress enough, you must take the extra pudge around your waistline deadly serious, because the Mayo Clinic recently reported that your waistline is one of the biggest indicators of how long you'll live. For every extra inch around your belly, you shave off 1 to 2 years of your life. Harvard Medical School performed a 14-year study on 15,000 American adults to discover that extra belly fat flab increases your risk of heart concerns by almost 20%, not to mention your risk of blood sugar concerns, thyroid issues, and a whole slew of problems that rob you of your self-esteem, health, and freedom. Can you grab a little extra belly bulge between your fingers? If so, you might not be able to live your ideal life. You might not walk your daughter down the aisle at her wedding or bounce your grandkids on your knee on Christmas morning. You've slaved away for retirement, but it could be yanked right out from under you. You won't enjoy fishing or traveling or visiting family if your body is riddled with disease from years of belly fat. And worst of all, you can't be there for your children as they get older and call you for advice. If you've already navigated your 30s and 40s, you know it's difficult. Don't you want to be around to help your kids? I don't mean to scare you, but these warnings come direct from the Mayo Clinic and Harvard Medical School. Because, can we be honest with each other here for a minute? Excess belly fat damages far more than your physical health. There's no medical statistics to explain your despair when your husband or wife stops finding you attractive. No government health advisory can announce your desperate frustration when you try so hard to diet or exercise but still see the same flab when you look in the mirror. There's no university study to show you how guilty and embarrassed you felt when you first wondered, maybe this really is all my fault. You get judged by prying eyes at work, out shopping, even in your own home. So I'm begging you to listen closely to what I'm about to say. It's not your fault, and you can break free. Listen up, because sometimes we think kind words or good news only apply to other people. We hear about a fat loss breakthrough and think, even subconsciously, that sounds great, but it won't work for me. So I'll say it one more time, and when I say this, I'm talking to you sitting in front of this screen listening to me right now. It's not your fault, and you can break free. The first step is to find out what's causing your belly fat. So let that stress, sadness, and self-doubt slip off your back. And let's check out the 7-second trick to measure your personal belly fat triggers. More specifically, let's look at how to tell which of the two most common triggers is a bigger problem in your body. Trigger number 1, slow metabolism, or trigger number 2, imbalanced fat-burning hormones. You've maybe heard the word metabolism before. It's your body's natural fat-burning engine. It burns the calories you eat, and it burns off your existing body fat. A fast metabolism means you can eat more of your favorite foods and actually lose weight. A slow metabolism means you could eat dry, tasteless diet food for every meal and never lose weight. So you need to test whether you've got a slow metabolism, or the second common trigger, imbalanced fat-burning hormones. A hormone is a messenger molecule that travels through your body to give instructions to your various organs and systems. The main fat-burning hormones are cortisol and insulin. If they get imbalanced, they tell your body to convert all the nutrients you eat into fat, and to never let go of it no matter how much you diet or exercise. Now let's use my 7-second trick to measure which is your worst belly fat trigger. Ready? If you're sitting at a computer, scoot back from your desk just an inch or two. Okay, now look down at your body. Touch your stomach, then your lap. Ask yourself this question. Is your extra body fat centered in a specific location like your belly or thighs? Or is it evenly distributed throughout? If your fat is evenly distributed throughout your body and it's not centered in specific locations, that's a sign of the slow metabolism belly fat trigger. If your fat is centered in specific locations, that signals imbalanced fat loss hormones. This simple test comes from the International Journal of Obesity. It works because messenger hormones like cortisol travel along specific paths. If they're imbalanced, it influences specific body regions. On the other hand, your metabolism is your total fat-burning engine. If it's slow, then you'll see the effect all throughout your body. I bet you're asking, now that I know my biggest belly fat trigger, what do I do about it? Well, believe it or not, you've already finished the hardest part. You stuck around even though talking about fat loss can be embarrassing, frustrating, and heartbreaking. That shows me you've got the nerve to do what it takes. And now that you know where to start, it doesn't take much at all. All you need is the Las Vegas loaded dice dinner. Most doctors wouldn't call this health food, but they're wrong, and here's why. Eating the loaded dice dinner is like playing craps with loaded dice to guarantee that you win. Instead of picking a random fat loss plan and hoping you get lucky and that it matches your reasons for belly fat, the loaded dice dinner targets all 14 belly fat triggers. You can't guess wrong if you choose all the answers. Here's the amazing truth. Your body knows itself. It'll take the ingredients and put them to work fixing the exact triggers behind your belly fat. Let's start with the main dish. Supercharge your metabolism with a juicy cut of steak, or if you prefer, a slow-cooked roast, as long as it's beef, because beef contains the highest levels of a molecule called acetyl L-carnitine, or ALC. ALC delivers fat to be burned into energy. If your ALC levels are low, then your metabolism slows down and your body packs on fat. But if you raise your ALC, you can boost your metabolism. A medical study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition gave ALC to 33 men and women who wanted to lose weight. At the end of the study, the men and women who took ALC lost 3 times as much body fat as people who didn't. The ALC inside beef also fights belly fat trigger number 2, imbalanced blood sugar. Doctors at the Institute for Pharmacological Research in Italy found that ALC supports healthy blood sugar 38% better than a placebo. So let's set our counter at 2 belly fat triggers solved. With just this first ingredient, you have a 14% chance of targeting your personal belly fat triggers. Now keep an eye on this counter to watch that chance grow all the way up to 100. The second food in your loaded dice dinner is carb-proof your body with white kidney beans. These target the next infuriating belly fat trigger, high levels of carb control enzymes. Inside your stomach, there's an enzyme called alpha amylase. It breaks down carbs like sugar, bread, or pasta, then converts them into fat. Lucky people with low levels of alpha amylase can eat bread and pasta without gaining weight. As strange as it sounds, white kidney beans let you enjoy carbs like spaghetti or chocolate cake without feeling guilty because they lower your alpha amylase so you can flush out extra carbs instead of converting them to body fat. Doctors at Georgetown University performed a study with 60 overweight men and women. Half added white kidney bean extract to their diet and half they gave a useless sugar pill. After 30 days, the sugar pill group lost only 1/3 a pound of fat, while the men and women who'd eaten white kidney beans lost 5.3 pounds of fat and 1.2 inches off their waistline. That's an entire notch in your belt. Imagine how proud you'd feel. Now that bumps our belly fat trigger counter up to 3. You're now at a 21% chance to address your causes for body fat. And the next ingredient doubles that chance. Accidentally slim down with corn on the cob. Corn contains the mineral chromium. Just like your body needs iron for energy and calcium for strong bones, you need chromium to burn belly fat. It targets 3 more annoying belly fat triggers. First, abnormally high appetite. Have you noticed just getting hungrier than other people? If you answered yes, then you've got a messenger hormone telling your brain that your stomach is empty, even if it's full. Fortunately, the chromium in sweet, buttery corn disrupts that hormone so you stop feeling so hungry. Louisiana State University researchers gave 21 women a chromium supplement. They didn't require any strict diets or any exercise regimes. They just asked the women to live their normal lives. Without even trying, these women ate 25% less. And they did it with fewer fat cravings, fewer carb cravings, and less overall hunger. And you know that rumbling in your stomach after lunch when you're looking forward to dinner? Well, the 21 women reported hunger decreased dramatically in the afternoon. Can you imagine if you could eat 25% less without even noticing? Your belly fat would disappear in a matter of weeks. And that's before considering chromium's second and third belly fat triggers: unsteady insulin and inflamed fat cells. Unsteady levels of the hormone insulin can hijack healthy carbs, proteins, and fatty acids and turn them into belly fat. And when your fat cells are inflamed, they stretch and expand and cause your gut to grow. The Journal of Biochemistry and Nutrition reported that chromium helps solve both of those problems. It improved insulin health by 15%, and it soothed fat cell inflammation 35% better than a placebo. We're now at 6 belly fat triggers. With just beef, beans, and corn, your chance of targeting your specific triggers has gone up to 43%. Let's top off the meal with 2 garnishes that skyrocket that chance up to 100%. First up is the secret reason the Japanese live longer, healthier lives than the rest of the world. I'm talking about Mission Impossible fat cell assassination with brown seaweed. A lot of my patients worry that they won't like the taste, but it's as mild as iceberg lettuce. I recommend sprinkling some on your beans. Brown seaweed contains a miraculous compound called fucoxanthin that targets the next trigger, low resting energy expenditure. This is how much belly fat you burn vegging out in front of the TV, or sitting at your desk, or even curled up fast asleep in bed. Recently, Russia's top doctors gave fucoxanthin to 75 obese people and told them not to change their diet or exercise habits. Their fat-burning engines jumped from burning 5.95 kJ per minute up to burning 7.37 kJ per minute. In other words, they burned body fat 24% faster and lost 27% more weight. And that's not even the best part. Fucoxanthin also targets aggressive fat cell multiplication. That's the process when your fat cells grow and then divide into two. And then those two divide into 4, which turns into 8, and then 16 until one fat cell has grown into millions, and you can't hide your belly from poking out of your shirt. Fucoxanthin slows that dividing and multiplying of fat cells right at the source. Researchers have discovered that fucoxanthin infiltrates your fat cells like a spy in Mission Impossible and hijacks their attempts to grow and multiply. When your fat cells start dissolving faster than they can reproduce, your belly shrinks, and your friends get excited about how skinny you look. That makes 8 belly fat triggers, a 57% chance to address the causes of your body fat. This next garnish is the last ingredient, and it targets the rest of the 14 common belly fat triggers. So let's move quickly to make sure we cover everything. Relax away your belly fat with Rhodiola rosea. Sprinkle this herb over your steak to add a garlicky flavor. It grows in the frigid plains of Siberia, where Russian political prisoners used it to boost their energy, ease stress, and support their immune system against the bitter cold. And it does even more than those freedom fighters realized. The Nordic Journal of Psychiatry published research showing that Rhodiola rosea consistently eases bleak moods. 3 surgeons from England found that it balanced the stress hormone cortisol to help people greatly reduce fatigue from work stress and relationship stress. The Journal of Sports Medicine reported that it lowered the rate of perceived exertion. That means if you take Rhodiola rosea, being active or exercising just feels easier. That's the rest of the 14 triggers. 9 imbalanced cortisol, 10 poor mood, 11 low motivation, 12 exercise or daily activity feels abnormally difficult, 13 life stress, and 14 frequent fatigue. You can rest assured that the loaded dice dinner will target the reasons behind your body fat, because the ingredients target every possible reason. No more picking a popular fat loss plan and hoping that it matches your personal needs. Instead, you can use this dinner to break free from the cycle of fat loss failure. But I do need to warn you, the quality and purity of the food in American grocery stores isn't what it used to be. Between pollution, pesticides, and genetically modified plants and animals, we've lost the ideal level of nutrients. For example, to get enough ALC to boost your metabolism, you'd need 3 servings of steak every single day. Or to get enough alpha amylase to balance your carb control enzymes, each day you'd need to eat over 6 cups of white kidney beans. If you stuff yourself with that much food, you'll erase any fat loss benefits from solving your belly fat triggers. Now, when I realized this, I almost lost hope. The loaded dice dinner is good for a short-term fat loss boost, but not for life-changing results. Still, I wasn't ready to give up on my patients like Lisa, who felt overwhelmed by too many fat loss plans. In my time as a doctor, I've learned that people really do want to feel healthy and happy. They genuinely want to make smart, healthy decisions, but it's so much easier to make healthy choices when you can do it without a lot of time, trouble, or expense. So my team and I set to work on this mind-bending puzzle. How can we give men and women the essence of the loaded dice dinner to solve all 14 belly fat triggers more quickly with more noticeable results and with lower cost and less effort? We scoured the globe for a simpler path to the fat loss benefits of these ingredients. We went to the farthest corners and most isolated villages of these foods' native countries where we compiled volumes of info on the traditional methods of using these foods, herbs, and minerals. And then we moved on to the next vital investigation, modern scientific proof. We poured through medical journals, interviewed top nutrition scientists, and consulted with molecular biologists, all the experts on the pure molecular essence of these natural foods and their fat loss abilities. After we gathered proof from both traditional medicine and modern science, it still took my team years of work testing ingredients, amounts, and ratios until, finally, we uncovered the exact, precise formula for a total belly fat solution. We discovered how to take the fat-burning essence of the loaded dice dinner and distill it into an easy-to-take capsule. You won't have to wonder which belly fat triggers are behind your fat because this capsule solves all 14 of them. And that's why we're calling it Trim-14. This special formula strikes at your body fat from every angle. Just take one before each meal, then eat your normal breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And you can stop feeling like you should just give up. You can finally stop feeling overwhelmed by fat loss. Before you know it, your friends will ask you how you lost so much weight so quickly. They'll ask, "What's your secret?" You can tell them it's not a secret, it's every secret, because Trim-14 attacks your belly fat from every angle. In fact, my friend and patient Amber T emailed me to say,
Trim-14 saved my life. I hated going to dinner with family because I worried they judged whatever I ordered. But after taking Trim-14 for just 6 weeks, my sister-in-law begged me to tell her how I've lost so much weight.
And Eddie V told me,
The guys at work poked fun about how much belly hung over my belt. It was just joking between guys, but it started to make me mad. I tried to lose weight, and it never worked. When you told me about Trim-14, it sounded too good to be true. But what did I have to lose? I gave it a shot. And damn, if my belly didn't start shrinking in just a few weeks. The guys at work still mess around, but now they joke about what I'm doing to lose weight so fast.
that sort of joyful victory is why I created Trim-14. The key is in the groundbreaking formula based on the loaded dice dinner. The first ingredient is the metabolism-boosting molecule inside of red meat, acetyl L-carnitine, or ALC. Each dose of Trim-14 includes 120 milligrams of ALC to help solve the same two belly fat triggers as a juicy steak. Number 1, slow metabolism, and number 2, imbalanced blood sugar. Remember, this comes from scientific research on ALC that was published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Next is white kidney bean extract. This helps balance your alpha amylase and allows your body to dispose of extra carbs without turning them into fat. Trim-14 gives you the equivalent of over 720 beans per day, or about 6 cups. It's a death blow to belly fat trigger number 3, high levels of carb control enzymes. After that is our next ingredient, chromium. The same chromium found inside corn that helped people eat 25% fewer calories without even noticing. Trim-14 gives you 300 micrograms to help solve the next 3 belly fat triggers. Number 4, abnormally high appetite. Number 5, unsteady insulin. And number 6, inflamed fat cells. Next comes the compound found inside brown seaweed, fucoxanthin. Each dose includes 30 milligrams to help free you from the 2 most unusual belly fat triggers. Number 7, aggressive fat cell multiplication. And number 8, low resting energy expenditure. Like I already showed you, one of Russia's top doctors used fucoxanthin to help 75 overweight people burn fat 24% faster while resting. And finally, to round out the loaded dice dinner ingredients I've distilled down into Trim-14, we have Rhodiola rosea. If you remember, this research-backed Arctic herb helps fight several belly fat triggers. Number 9, imbalanced cortisol. Number 10, poor mood. Number 11, poor motivation. Number 12, exercise or daily activity feels abnormally difficult. Number 13, life stress. And number 14, frequent fatigue. That's all 14 of the common belly fat triggers, and Trim-14 solves every single one. Why waste time and energy trying 1,000 fat loss plans that only target 2 or 3 reasons for body fat when you could use Trim-14 and target them all? In fact, I wasn't satisfied solving your belly fat triggers. I want to take all of the 14 triggers and turn those weaknesses into strengths. If you have a slow metabolism, it's not enough to fix the problem. I want your metabolism roaring like an 8-cylinder engine. If you crave carbs, sweets, or greasy foods, it's not enough to soothe those cravings. I want to help you not notice hunger so much that the snack food in your pantry goes bad before you remember to eat it. If your fat-burning hormones are off kilter, I'm not satisfied just rebalancing them. I want to precision tune those hormones to melt the fat right off of your belly, butt, and thighs. Most of all, I wouldn't be content to just ease your poor mood, low motivation, frequent fatigue, or high stress. For me to feel successful in my purpose, I want you to feel genuinely happy, motivated, full of energy, and worry-free. So I added 8 more ingredients to Trim-14, each one designed to give you faster, more obvious fat loss. Each one of these herbs have been used in traditional medicine for hundreds of years and backed by modern research, so you know they're safe, healthy, and effective. Here they are. Raspberry ketones are a flavor compound extracted from red raspberries. They help your body break down fat and boost your metabolism. In 2 different placebo-controlled studies, raspberry ketones helped subjects lose an average of 29% more weight. Citrus aurantium, also called bitter orange, amps up your resting energy expenditure. A study by doctors in Spain and a study by doctors at Johns Hopkins University both showed that citrus aurantium sped up people's resting energy expenditure by 33% and helped people lose 300% more body fat. Guarana seed is a South American fruit that lowers your appetite. Men and women in a Texas Tech research study who took guarana seed reported feeling more full between meals. As a side note, it also shows promise for increasing your metabolism in the same way as raspberry ketones, by helping your body break down fat. Hoodia gordoni is extracted from a small shrub that grows in southern Africa, where people have used it for centuries to lower their appetite. It increases a stomach enzyme that tells your brain that you're full. In fat loss trials published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, people who took Hoodia gordoni lost 3 times more fat than with a placebo, and they lost 4 times the inches off their waistline. Ervingia garbanensis seed extract comes from the African mango plant. Studies show it lowers appetite and supports healthy blood glucose levels 5 times better than a placebo. Green coffee bean extract works alongside white kidney bean extract to support your carb control enzymes, to let your body flush out the carbs it doesn't need. Garcinia cambogia is a pumpkin-like fruit that grows in Indonesia. It helps your body flush out fatty acids instead of adding them to your body fat. Purdue University researchers found that 42 men and women who took Garcinia cambogia lost 31% more weight than people who took a placebo. Korean ginseng root has been used as a natural remedy in Southeast Asia for centuries. Studies by top scientists in both England and China found that Korean ginseng root supports lower stress, less fatigue, increased motivation, and supports healthy levels of blood glucose, insulin, and cortisol. The 8 bonus ingredients plus the 5 inspired by the Loaded Dice dinner work together to tackle all 14 common belly fat triggers. So, whatever the cause of your belly fat, Trim-14 is your solution to free you from the depressing and devastating struggle to find the answer to your belly fat. No more trying and failing over and over, all because the most popular fat loss plans only target 2 or 3 triggers, and you can't figure out which triggers you have. Trim-14 gives you the tools to slim down your belly in the precise way that your unique body desperately needs. And I'm proud to tell you that I personally guarantee the quality, purity, and safety of these ingredients because Zenith Labs is handling the manufacturing. I mean it when I say that here at Zenith Labs, we obsess over the pristine quality of each and every capsule. Like all Zenith Labs projects, we manufacture Trim-14 in a good manufacturing practices facility that's been certified by the NSF for sanitation and quality, and that's regularly audited by the FDA for potency. In other words, while other supplement manufacturers may skirt regulations to save money only to end up delivering an impure, watered-down, tainted product, Zenith Labs quality control is even stricter than government regulations. In last year's FDA inspection, our manufacturing facility passed without a single regulation issue. Even in billionaire corporation facilities, the FDA at least usually discovers a conveyor belt that needs oil or a cracked window where pests could creep in. But in our facility, the FDA found everything in tip-top shape from floor to ceiling. But even that's not enough for us. We also make sure each source of ingredients is closely audited to guarantee each ingredient is perfectly pure in order to target your belly fat triggers. And then on top of all that, we individually test ingredients throughout production. Every step of the way, we're making sure that Trim-14 contains exactly what it says on the label. We dip into our own profits to deliver a top-notch product. We may not make as much money today, but we know you'll be a Zenith Labs customer for life. That's what's best for your health, so we wouldn't do it any other way. Even after our strict manufacturing, I know that Trim-14 isn't the first supplement out there that promises to help with belly fat. But Trim-14 is the first and only supplement to address all 14 belly fat triggers. Every other fat loss plan, whether you're talking about supplements, diets, or any other program, only addresses 2 or 3 triggers. Using one of those is like walking up to a craps table and only rolling 1 die. But since Trim-14 solves all 14 belly fat triggers, it's like walking up to a craps table, then setting down 14 dice on exactly the numbers you want. You're guaranteed to address your own biggest belly fat triggers. So no more stressing out about whenever you think about your body fat. No more thinking about eating healthy or exercising and then getting overwhelmed, because you can rest assured knowing that Trim-14 is tackling your biggest belly fat triggers. Your belly will slim down with less effort than you ever thought possible. You get the extra help you need to trim down your belly, butt, and thighs. Feel the pounds melt away without exhausting yourself with marathons or starving yourself with restrictive diets. Watch yourself get skinnier in the mirror when it feels like you haven't changed a thing. Enjoy your doctor taking you seriously again and no longer blaming every health problem on your extra weight. Restore your youthful energy so you can quit worrying that you're wasting your life. Support a level of health that will help you live an active, happy life. This is an entirely new type of belly fat solution. It soothes your anxiety about fat loss by giving you a whole body solution. That's why my friend Sam F. emailed me to say,
Dr. Ryan, thank you. For me, the worst part of gaining weight was that terrible pit in my stomach whenever I had to squeeze my pants to get them buttoned. I avoided buying new clothes, even as I felt my old ones get tighter and tighter. I tried over a dozen fat loss plans, and none of them worked, and I had given up. So thank you so much for Trim-14. I'm down 19 pounds. My favorite pants, they actually zip up comfortably again.
And my friend Elizabeth G. said,
Before Trim-14, I hated looking in the mirror. My husband told me I was still beautiful, but I could hear it in his voice and see it in the way he looked at me, that he wasn't attracted to me anymore. Once I found Trim-14, I couldn't believe how effortlessly my belly fat disappeared. Now, when my husband tells me I'm beautiful, it sounds just like when we were first married. Even more important, I feel beautiful myself, and that confidence is spreading all over my life. I'm doing better at work, on the golf course, and even my friends at church say it's the happiest they've ever seen me. Thank you, Dr. Ryan.
I want you to feel the same way. And that's why I'm excited to offer you Trim-14 at a special one-time discount. Here's what it would cost if you went on Amazon right now and bought each ingredient separately. That's $270 just for a 30-day supply. But take a look below and you'll see the price for a 30-day supply of Trim-14. Look how much you save by getting all these ingredients together in Trim-14. If you stock up on a larger supply, you'll save even more. Trim-14 is only available through this online presentation and only while supplies last, so stock up now. Click the option below that suits you best. I know you work hard for your money and you want to spend it wisely. I hope you've paid attention to all 37 citations showing the scientific backing for what I've shared with you today. And if that's not proof enough, we're adding the Zenith Guarantee. For 6 months, you can try Trim-14. If you're unhappy for any reason at all, just let us know and we'll refund you 100%. It doesn't even matter if you've used up the entire bottle. We offer a no questions asked 100% money back guarantee. I insisted on this promise because that's how much confidence I have in Trim-14. With such solid scientific backing and a guarantee that takes away all the risk, Trim-14 is the smartest decision you've made today. These ingredients have worked for my face-to-face patients, and I know they can work for you too. So please, choose an option below right now and click the button to add it to your cart. You'll be taken to a secure ordering form. We use the same security measures as national banks to ensure that your personal information remains totally private and protected. Now, before I let you go, I'm hoping you'll do something for me. I want you to picture yourself 1 year from now. If you click the button below, then in 1 year you'll have used Trim-14 to slim your belly and restore your confidence. If you don't click the button, then in 1 year you'll be stuck right where you are now, unhealthy, unhappy, and tired. What big events have you missed because of your weight and health? Beach trips, weddings, travel? How much money will you have lost on weight-related medical expenses? After all, yearly medical bills for overweight people are 81% higher than average. But the truth is, you'll see results much faster than 1 year. So I'd like you to picture yourself just 1 month from now. If you decided today to invest in your health by clicking below, then in 1 month you're starting to see some noticeable fat loss. Maybe you're not at your goal weight quite yet, but you feel confident and proud knowing that you're well on your way. Of course, if you don't click below, then 1 month from now, nothing will have changed. You'll still avoid eye contact when out in public, worried that people are judging you. You'll still feel depressed, anxious, and overwhelmed whenever you think about your body fat. Finally, please picture yourself 1 day from now. What time is it where you are? Picture yourself at this time tomorrow, either getting ready for the day, or sitting at your desk at work, or getting excited about your plans for the weekend. Whatever it is you'll be doing in 24 hours. Now, if you click an option below right now, there won't be any difference in your belly fat by tomorrow. Unless there's a postal miracle, your order won't even have arrived yet. But if you choose an option below, then tomorrow the day will feel a little brighter. You'll know that you found the complete, total solution to body fat. You'll feel a little more hope and excitement in everything you do. Your worry about people judging you will melt away, replaced by the confidence that you've made a major decision to take charge of your health and happiness. Think about it. When you get a raise at work, aren't you proud and excited even before you see that raise in your paycheck? I see that emotional boost in my patients all the time, even before they start feeling their physical health improving. There's just something special about making a healthy choice you can be proud of, and it's easily the smartest choice you'll make today. After all, I've shown you the scientific backing for how Trim-14 frees you from the overwhelming anxiety of body fat. You'll never again worry there's no hope. Never again wonder which of the thousands of fat loss plans will work for you. Never again despair when yet another program fails you. Because Trim-14 targets every single common belly fat trigger. So it's guaranteed to help solve your personal reasons for extra fat. You'll finally feel the thrill of watching your belly slim down and see the envy and pride of your friends and loved ones as they ask how you did it. And best of all, you'll restore your hope for tomorrow and next month and for years to come. You'll protect your health so you can be there when your kids need advice or when your grandkids blow out the candles on their birthday cake. You've got a happy, active, fulfilling life ahead of you. And it all starts when you click an option below to claim your Trim-14 before we run out. On the other hand, I almost hate to say it, but if you don't click an option, if you tell yourself that despite all the scientific backing I've shown you, despite the one-time only discount below, and despite the 6-month no questions asked, even if you've used the entire bottle 100% money-back guarantee, even despite all that, if you're wondering if you need Trim-14, then I want you to picture yourself 24 hours from now. Whether you're getting ready for the day, or sitting at work, or thinking about your weekend plans, you'll have this nagging doubt in the back of your mind. It will darken everything you do tomorrow. When you get dressed in the morning and your pants squeeze your waistline, you'll remember that you turned your back on this opportunity. When you feel like the one fat person in the room, you'll remember that someone finally offered you a way out and you said no. When a lifetime of embarrassment, failure, and overwhelming confusion about how in the hell to lose weight comes crashing down around you, and you stuff those emotions back into the dark, damp corners of your mind, you'll remember that today you had the chance to make a change and you let it slip through your fingers. I'm sure you've missed great opportunities in the past, and you've learned firsthand what regret feels like. I know I have. And I'm sure you've been frustrated with yourself when you've promised over and over that you'll start trying again tomorrow, all the while watching your waistline expand little by little. We've all felt like that before. The reason regret hurts so much is so we don't keep making those same mistakes again and again. Every time you felt bad about your body in the past was to remind you in moments like this one right now that your happiness depends on brave choices. It's so easy to beat yourself up about past decisions. It hurts and it's wrong, and we all have to do it. I can promise you, if you don't click that button right now, then tomorrow you'll be beating yourself up worse than ever before. So I'm asking you, no, I'm begging you, please don't make yourself hurt like that tomorrow. Make the decision right now to take control of your health and happiness. Take advantage of this opportunity that's right in front of you. Tomorrow will feel like the first day of a new life. Click an option below and let Trim-14 free you from your personal belly fat triggers and invite you into a whole new world of joyful confidence. I'm Dr. Ryan Shelton, and I'll see you on the next page. If you're still here, that means two things. One, you're serious about your health, and two, you still have a few questions. I'm always happy to know that you care so much about finding the right health options for you. So let me go over a few of the most frequently asked questions. Will Trim-14 work for me? Since we've designed Trim-14 to tackle the problem of belly fat from every angle, it will support your fat loss, whatever the primary cause. All the ingredients are backed by scientific studies. They've been used by hundreds of thousands of people around the world, and I've personally seen them help my patients lose weight. And remember, if for any reason you're not satisfied, or even for no reason at all, we offer a 6-month, no questions asked money-back guarantee. How do I know for sure which belly fat triggers I have? The way to measure that I showed you is a good rule of thumb to know if you have either a slow metabolism or imbalanced fat loss hormones. In case you forgot, if your body fat is focused in a specific spot on your body, you likely have imbalanced hormones. If your body fat is evenly spread out through your body, then a slow metabolism is likely a bigger issue for you. Of course, no test can be 100% accurate, not to mention that's only 2 of the most common 14 belly fat triggers. That's why Trim-14 addresses all 14 belly fat triggers. Your body will use the ingredients inside Trim-14 to support curing your personal triggers, while the other ingredients will give you a helpful boost to kickstart your fat loss. How many bottles should I order? We recommend ordering the largest amount so you can get the most savings. Trim-14 has a 2-year shelf life, so there's no worries about it expiring. Plus, our no questions asked money-back guarantee is valid no matter how many bottles you order, so there's no risk in stocking up. Well, I have to exercise and diet. I'm a doctor, so of course I'm going to tell you that diet and exercise are important. You should always try to eat healthy and live an active life. But do you need to exercise and diet to lose weight with Trim-14? In many of the studies you just saw, they found that certain ingredients in Trim-14 help you lose weight even if you don't change your eating and exercise habits. But of course, if you watch what you eat and make an effort to be active every day, that's when you'll see the fastest results. Is Trim-14 safe? I already shared with you all the safety standards that Zenith Lab sticks to when manufacturing Trim-14. That's to make sure that what you see on the label is exactly what's in the bottle, nothing more, nothing less. Each of the ingredients that goes into Trim-14 is tested for purity and to ensure against toxins and contaminants. We also focus on using natural ingredients which your body already knows how to use, and which gently, naturally support your body's natural fat loss systems. We still recommend that you talk to your doctor before starting any new health program, including taking Trim-14. Is Trim-14 a replacement for any sort of medicine? No. While Trim-14 supports your health in a variety of ways, it does not treat any disease and it does not replace any medicines you might be taking. Use Trim-14 to support a healthy weight, but always follow your doctor's advice on any health issue. If you're still wondering whether Trim-14 is right for you, then the best advice I can give you is to try it for yourself. With our no questions asked, money-back guarantee, you have 6 months to see if you like it. If you decide you want your money back, simply contact us for a full refund, so you can try it out with zero risk. You've got nothing to lose and a joyful confidence to gain. Click an option below, and I'll see you on the next page.